a great set of students working with me in my Dean Student Task Force. And these are students who are really interested in marketing research. So it was a very symbiotic relationship.
Hello, I'm Nisha Mathur, and welcome to Keys to Kismat. Destiny is more than a destination. It's a journey in which each day counts. We may not realize it, but we all hold the keys to our future, the keys to Kismat. We're here in the heart of New York City, an electric metropolis and the home of one of the most prestigious universities in the United States, New York University, better known as NYU. U.S. News and World Report ranked NYU Stern's finance program as #2 in the country. And guess who the powerhouse woman is at the center of it all? Geeta Menon is the 11th Dean of the Undergraduate College at NYU Stern School of Business. Menon is among the first Indian-born women deans of a top-ranked business school in the United States. So all you parents and kids out there who are preparing for college and filling out those college apps, it's time to take notes as Dean Menon enlightens us and talks about her journey, gives us tips on life and the college process. Dean Menon, what an honor it is to sit here next to you in the heart of New York City at NYU Stern Undergraduate College. You are the first South Asian woman to be appointed Dean of NYU Stern, the first Indian-born woman to be Dean of a top-ranked business school in the country. What prestige? Tell us how it feels.
Well, thank you. You make it sound really big. I have to say that things have changed for women a lot. And so if you look at some of the statistics for CEOs of companies, for example, about 15% of the Fortune 500 CEOs are women today, as compared to 0% in 1980. And similarly in academia, you see that women have become more and more predominant. So I've been here at Stern, New York University Stern School of Business for 25 years. I just celebrated my 25th year, so I feel like a veteran over here. I know where all the skeletons are buried. So it's been an incredible journey. It's been my professional and my personal home. And it's been a journey which has been mixed in terms of the kind of roles I've taken on, the responsibilities I've taken on. It's been my home currently in my role as Dean of the Undergraduate College. One of the biggest excitement is being able to meet young people. And I think there is something very sacred about meeting the next generation just as they get out of high school and being able to work with them, to shape their minds, to educate them and help them reach their potential, because each person has so much they bring to the table.
Dean Menon received her PhD from the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, majoring in business and minoring in social psychology under the mentorship of Seymour Sudman. As the 11th Dean of the Stern School of Business, Dean Menon has expansive and a complex role in the university.
Stern is able to bring in the most driven, the most dedicated, and the most ambitious students from around the world.
Everyone that I know at Stern is just like going for it.
Entrepreneurs, geniuses, finance gurus.
Who really want to work hard. You can really do anything.
There's nothing you can't do here.
I am Stern.
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 Now you help so many young students who come to Stern. Tell us how these students have changed your life. How have the students helped you?
Oh, big time. I'm on social media. I learn from them, from their energy, their excitement. I learn about what's happening in that field. And really the reason I am the Dean of the Undergraduate College is because my son pointed out that in spite of all these other things I've done professionally in terms of editorships and organizations and things like that, I haven't really made any kind of, I haven't made a dent to the extent that he could see. And he thought that if I worked with students his age and students like him, I would actually be able to make a difference. And the funny thing is, yes, that's definitely been true. I hope I've made a difference, but more than that, they've made a difference to me too, because these students are amazing.
Dean Menon is an incredibly down-to-earth person, and so when you have someone so important who actually cares about you so much and really shows that interest, it makes you feel like you're important to this institution and that you want to give back.
When we return, Geeta takes us back to her roots, where it all began, India. But first, Dean Menon gives students tips on filling out college apps.
There are several things that happen during your senior year, and you really need to pay attention to deadlines. Try to meet your counselors and your teachers in time so that you don't have to scramble at the last minute. Work back from the final deadline so that you're able to meet all of them with enough notice. Let your essay reflect your personality and your passion. College admission is not just about your SAT scores and your GPA. It's also about who you are and what you're interested in. So put your best foot forward.
India is one of the top 4 leading providers of students to NYU Stern. It's also where Geeta started her journey. Dean, I'd like to backtrack a little bit now to your childhood. Tell us a little bit about what your childhood was like in India, and was your family always into education?
I grew up in different parts of India, mostly ones with ports, because my dad was in the Indian Navy. And I actually moved 10 schools before I finished my 10th grade.
Wow.
I know, might explain a lot of problems, but it's also made me pretty adaptable. My mother was also very much into you have to do well in school. So it didn't matter that you moved from an ICSE syllabus to an ISC syllabus to an Anglo-Indian high school syllabus, it did not matter. I had to top the class. And if I didn't top the class, it had to be a respectful second or a third in class, or hell would break out at home.
According to the College Board, in India, NYU is the 5th most searched university online. What is NYU's presence in India?
First and foremost, we have a course which is called Social Enterprise and Economic Development. And it's a marriage between the undergraduate college here at Stern and 2 colleges in Bombay.
Friendly. We visited some temples and understanding the culture of it, the history behind it. But I would say the most important thing was when we actually got to walk into someone's house and see how they live.
So India's kind of been a place where it's been very associated with family. But I think it was an interesting perspective going with a class studying social and economic development.
And then we were able to go to India and see major social entrepreneurship, social impact, not-for-profit, NGO projects that were kind of accomplishing everything that we were reading about in class.
Also a PhD student advisor. And when I hear the word advisor, I think of mentor. How important is it for the accomplished to mentor the younger generation?
So when you think about mentoring, it's really a way of giving back and making sure you leave the world a better place.
And I think when you mentor the younger generation, it's a chain reaction, because I feel that those who are mentored end up mentoring others.
That's absolutely
true. So it really ends up being a chain reaction, and I think it's something that almost everybody out there has the ability to do. NYU Stern has 3 Nobel laureates on the standing faculty, the most of any business school. Geeta tells us more about this prestigious school after the break. And here are a few more college app tips.
College is about figuring out your interests and who you are, and it's an exploration process. Take it easy. make sure you visit colleges. Colleges can take all kinds of shapes and sizes, and depending on whether it's urban or less urban, it may resonate with you. You get a lot of information from your actual visit.
As the Dean of the NYU Stern School of Business, Geeta fills us in on the vital components and principles of a business education. Dean Menon, tell us what you think is the most vital component of a business education.
So the important thing is to clarify what it's not. It's not vocational. And I think that's one of the biggest issues with what the people's conception of what business education is. I'm really proud to say that a business education means having a real grounding in the liberal arts and having the ability to do business, all the tools that you need over and above that. So it's really a very well-grounded liberal arts education with that layering of business tools, which makes you highly employable and pretty well-read and able to carry out a conversation.
Demand to attend NYU Stern Undergraduate College reached an all-time high this year, with approximately 11,000 students applying for 610 spaces in the upcoming freshman class. This year, a record number of 11,000 students applied to the undergraduate business program for 610 spots. That's unbelievable. How do you go through the selection process of going through all those applications and picking the students you think will be right for the school? And who are those candidates who you think will be a good fit for the undergraduate program?
So we have a very holistic review process. We have an NYU admissions team that does a really thorough 360 of the application. It's really important to have good testing scores, for example, SATs, high school GPA, take tough classes, show that you take tough classes. That's something that we pay attention to. But I think it's really important to also make sure that students are well-rounded. We need to know that these students can work well in teams, can take on leadership responsibility as and when they're given this. So it's really a holistic review. And I don't know, I think the admissions team doesn't sleep during admission season, but they're able to go through these applications and weed out the students that we need to select. We have 11,000 applications this year, which is a huge increase over the previous year, 17%. It's an intense process. If applicants think it's tough to apply, it's really tough for the admissions team to deny.
I'm sure.
Really good candidate.
Now, this whole process, the application process, is really stressful for families, for students. As a mother, not as a dean, but as a mother, what advice would you have for parents and students out there who are going through this process?
You know, it may seem cliche, and it might sound not, it's easy for you to say and things like that, but seriously, there is a school for everyone, and I don't think people realize that. I mean, now that my son is out of college, etc., when I think back, I try to adopt a little bit of that attitude that, you do your best. Even when I send a paper out for publication, I work like a crazy person till the last minute because I know I have control over the process and I can fix stuff. But thereafter, once you send it out for review, it's done. So my advice to any student would be to work hard, to really apply yourself, to do your best. But once you send out those applications, you have to be forgiving of yourself because you've done your best. And if you know that, there's very little to change. If you've goofed off, etc., that's a whole different story. But I'm talking about the conscientious student who has actually worked hard to get to where they are. And things will work out. And just because what you might consider your dream school has turned you down, there's going to be a time in life where everything comes full circle and you will be, this accomplished person. And, you're better off for the school you went to. So I do think things work out.
Dean, 100% of the students who graduate in the undergraduate program here have had a global experience. How important is it to have a global experience? Why is it so important?
Look at the world today. People are zipping to different countries all the time. The business, the global marketplace has become so global, and so many countries are involved, so many people from different countries are involved in whatever deals you're making and whatever business you're creating. you have no choice. You have to embrace the marketplace as being global, and you have to develop sensitivities to different cultures, to different ways of thinking, and you have to learn to survive in different environments. You have to learn those basic skill sets.
I'm going to be going to Madrid,
Prague, China,
France.
If you want to be great at something, if you want to be an expert, if you want to be the best, you have to immerse yourself.
It's important to have a global experience in your education because the world is becoming more and more global in the way that companies operate, in the way that people work and think. It's really important to be able to go out into the world saying, I understand different cultures.
All these struggles that you face by studying abroad help you grow as a person, make you much more independent.
Talk to students in the schools that you're interested in. These students could be your seniors in high school, they could be other students that you meet on a college tour, but it's really important to get their take because these students can be honest.
During all 4 years of her tenure as dean, applications to NYU Stern Undergraduate College have reached record highs this year. Dean Menon is committed to taking Stern and its students to unimaginable heights. Through your experiences, what do you think has been your most important life lesson?
To me, my life lesson is that opportunities keep presenting themselves. So every time an opportunity presents itself, it's not going to be there forever. It's just going to present itself, move on, life moves on. You have to be aware of these opportunities, and you have to think that if I take this particular opening that's being presented to me, it takes me off my goal a little bit. But maybe it opens doors to other things that I would not have thought about.
On a personal level, what advice do you have for someone who's just graduated from high school and about to start that college journey?
So when students come here, we have this session which is called a convocation, and it's exactly that. It's giving students advice as to what to do next. And we've come up with this theme that you need to invest in several things. You need to invest in yourself first and foremost. And in order to invest in yourself, you need to explore what are things going on around you. Take different kinds of classes. Some students come in thinking they know exactly what they want to do. Wrong. You know, they're 17 or 18 years old. Keep an open mind, test the waters, make mistakes, learn from these mistakes.
In January 2015, the Economic Times named Dean Menon one of the top 20 Indian-born, globally successful women in business and arts. Dean, it was a pleasure speaking with you. I think I've learned so much during this interview, and I need to go back and rewind and give that advice to my daughters. And I know that many out there will give the same advice to their children. And we wish you the best of luck for your future. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
I have no idea. I'm going to continue doing what I do and practice what I preach and keep my eyes and ears open to see what's happening around me.
We can't wait to see where you'll be. I'm sure you'll be doing something big, great, and very inspiring.
I'll be definitely enjoying myself.
Yes. Thank you
so much.
The role of a leader is to be forward-thinking and to be able to get people to move in the direction you want them to move in. I think that's really critical to harness support because you need to have people behind you when you want to achieve a goal. And that goal has to be big. It has to be something ambitious. You can't start low. You have to aim for the sky. And then if you fall halfway to the sky, that's great.
NYU Stern's global alumni community includes 100,000 plus members in more than 125 countries. Some famous alumni of NYU Stern include Harvey Golub, former chairman of American Express, Alan Greenspan, former chairman of the U.S. Federal Reserve, and Lawrence Allen Tisch, former president and CEO of CBS. Dean Menon has recreated the high expectations and the support she learned from her parents. And as a dean, to her success is not about personal recognition, but about creating an environment where students can thrive and learn life lessons that will stay with them forever. From Dean Menon, the key message, the key to Kismat: follow your dreams and your passion, and don't be scared to make mistakes and take chances. I'm Nisha Mathur, reminding you that it's time to find your key to Kismat and seize your destiny.